On February 5th, that was one of these days that I will never, ever forget.
What year?
Oh, 2004.
Okay.
That was the day that Kerry called me and then called you.
Right.
I mean, here we are, we're talking to our daughter after 35 years. And then for the next couple weeks, the three of us are texting and calling each other, and individually and as a group text and things like that.
We had
and
a lot of time to catch up.
We did.
You and me, and the daughter and us. So.
Right, and we were learning about each other and learning about her life, and so yeah, there was a lot to catch up on. But the thing was, you and I wanted to pin down a date where we could have the reunion.
Right.
And she was kind of hesitant about that, but we discussed it and we said we're not going to rush her in her time,
Right.
So we did have these few weeks, and it seemed that she loved it that we were musicians. She thought we were the coolest. Well, she thought you were really cool.
Well, her family, her parents were not particularly cool or musical or anything like that. They're pretty conservative. So I think she appreciated the fact that her bloodline, at least, contained music and cool people.
Right, and it was really important to her that we be cool. Yeah, so finally, we were going to Nashville to have our reunion, and I wasn't keen on flying. I was afraid to fly by myself, so you were wonderful. You flew up from Jacksonville to Totowa, and then stayed overnight, and then the next day, we were on our way.
We flew to Nashville.
To fly to
Nashville. Stayed in Nashville, then I flew you back to Jersey, spent the night, and then flew back to Florida. It was like a week.
Yeah.
Altogether.
It was like 5 days.
Okay.
So anyway, but on the way to the airport,
yes,
going
ma'am.
down the parkway, you totally blew my mind.
Uh-huh.
Where you're driving, and then you put a CD in, and I recognized this instrumental. It was instrumental, and I hadn't heard it in years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, because it was taking me back to 1967 and with you, because I never listened to that song with anyone, and it wasn't on the radio. And then the introduction, the instrumental went into the song, which was Steve's song from
Blues Project.
Yeah,
the Projections. Second album.
Right, which really not many people know that album. It's kind of obscure.
Yeah.
But the song, and I'm in tears. I'm like, oh, Johnny, thank you so much. And then you weren't done.
Oh, no.
You weren't done, because now you put in Little Wing.
Hey, well, it's Hendrix, man.
It's Hendrix, man, right? And I was blown away. But in our texting to each other, we talked about Little Wing, and you said that song always reminded you of me.
It's a very short song, but very poignant. One verse, but very poignant. It's about a girl, the guy singing about this girl, and she trusts him implicitly. And she says, if you're in trouble, take anything you need from me, anything. And I always get choked up. But I always thought you were so innocent, and you trusted me so much, and how I blew it, That there was a girl who wonders about who fathered her, and there's a woman who became pregnant and had a baby but doesn't have a child. And I always felt that here was this wonderful, innocent girl who trusted me, and it was like my mission. I failed my mission, and that I always listen to that song. I think wonderful thoughts about you, but it would always bring back thoughts about, man, could I have done more? Could I have done something different?
I'm choked up too. But when you played that song, and then the Blues Project, I said, Johnny, you have done everything to make my once in a lifetime a once in a lifetime. I mean, you thought of everything. It was just so beautiful. And we were just on the way to the airport, and you touched me. You touched my heart. And this was funny. I had so much luggage
And you still do.
But I had so much luggage, you had to rent a van so that we could put all my luggage. And not only that, I brought my guitar, which was the stupidest thing. But Carrie wanted me to bring my guitar, and I was do anything. Carrie wants me to bring my guitar. I'm going to bring my guitar to Nashville. And
well, you told me how much luggage you were. I was going to just take a cab to your place, pick you up, and take the cab back to the airport, but I didn't think there'd be enough room in the cab. So I rented a van.
No, there wasn't. And
a good thing I did.
It's a good thing you did, because then when we were taking the luggage out of the car, we got one of those big luggage carts, and it wasn't enough. We needed to get two. So we're with the two carts. I looked like Rose from the Titanic, boarding the Titanic, which isn't a very good reference, but still, that was what it looked like. So we get to the airport, and we get on the plane, and do you remember? I mean, well, of course you do. I'll never forget how we behaved on the plane. We were just so excited and so giddy. We were laughing and just being really annoying, and we were getting all these dirty looks from the other passengers.
It was as if like 35 years hadn't passed.
Yeah. And it was so wonderful to be with you, and I was so excited that we were really acting pretty foolish, but they probably thought we were drunk. Whatever. But anyway, we made it to Nashville, and then we had to go through the same routine with the luggage, and you had an SUV.
Yeah.
You rented the SUV, which was a really
big one.
Good. Yes, a really big one. It was a good thing that you did. And one thing I'll always remember, that airport was so beautiful and civilized. And I remember going down the people walker thing, and all the walls are filled with these wonderful posters and portraits of country singers, and it was just wonderful. It's a beautiful airport. So it was a wonderful way to start our introduction to Nashville. And then we got all the luggage in the car, and we're driving to the city of Nashville, and I saw this building, and it's the AT&T building, and that was used in the Batman movies, right? That's where the bat signal was shown from that building. So I'm like, wow, this is great. And then we drive into the hotel that we were going to stay at.
See, I love trains. I really love trains. And this used to be Union Station. Big deal. And then, of course, trains go out of favor, and they converted it to a wonderful, wonderful hotel, which is where we stayed.
Right. And it was beautiful. It was all the elegance of the turn of the century was left, the marble and all the beautiful wood carvings and the stained glass windows and the courtyard with the fountain and the beautiful, huge stained glass ceiling. And that was where we had arranged to meet, well, Kerry, her name was Kerry, which she wasn't Amanda. I still referred to her with you as Amanda, baby Mandy, but she was Kerry. So we made arrangements to meet with her, and we were early. So we brought all our things to our rooms and everything, and you and I were just so excited, It was like I was on pins and needles. I was excited, yet I was stressed, I was anxious. I was just filled with this emotion. And then it started getting near the time that we were supposed to meet. So we were on whatever floor it was, but we were looking over the balustrade, and because we had a perfect view of the whole lobby.
Because she's coming to the hotel.
Right. She was going to meet us there. And plus we thought it would be a good place because... Neutral, right?
Escape. Things don't work out, she could just run out the door.
Exactly. And there was a really nice restaurant there, so we said, okay, we can go to dinner after that. But okay, so we're looking, it's a huge lobby. We're both looking, and I see this young woman, who had dark hair, and now we only saw pictures of Carrie, so we really didn't know what she looked like. But I recognized this long, beautiful dark hair, and I'm going, Johnny, it's her, it's her. So we started walking down the stairs, and then I hear these screams, little kid screams, and I see these two little girls running to this woman, and she leans down and scoops up the girls, and then this man was coming toward her, and they all embrace, and I knew then it wasn't her. But in my mind, I'm going, oh, I wish that was her. I wish that, the family, I wish that was what we were going to have in our lives. So then we go back up the stairs, and we wait, and we're looking down the lobby, and we saw in the shadows. I remember it was, and I thought I saw someone. I go, Johnny, doesn't that look like someone in the shadows? And so we're looking, and then she got into the light a little bit. That's when we said, that's her. That's her.
It's got to be her.
It's got to be her. But we watched her a little bit, and she looked nervous. Of course, we were far away, but she just had that body language, that it's the kind of stiff. So we went down the stairs, and I remember we're walking down in unison, kind of like, New York, New York, going down the stairs. Yeah. And at each step that I took, I got more and more excited and more anxious. And then we walked down the stairs, and so now we're a distance from each other. And we didn't know what to do. Like, do we walk to her? Do we wait for her to come? I didn't know what to do. And I didn't know how to be a mother. I didn't know how I should I embrace her? I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I was looking to you for direction, and I could see you had nothing.
Bad idea.
Yeah, bad, I know. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to give her some time to walk to us, and she wasn't. So I said to you, okay, come on, let's go slowly. Let's not scare her. She was like a deer in the headlights. I didn't want her to run away in fear. But so we walked slowly toward her. And then when we got very close, I opened my arms, and I was smiling, and I don't know if I said Carrie, I don't know what it was, but I went up to her, and I embraced her, but I was very careful not to hug too tight.
Right.
I really didn't know what to do, and I put my arms around her, and she didn't respond, and my heart sunk, And then I held her for a little bit, and then she finally put her arms around me, and then you came in, and you put your arms around the two of us, and the three of us just started crying. And we stood there, I don't know, the longest time. We just held each other, and I said to myself, oh my gosh, thank you, God. Johnny's by my side, and he's not leaving me this time. And I have my baby Mandy in my arms. And from that night on, nothing would ever be the same.
No, nothing was ever the same again.
No. I love you, Johnny.
You do?
Yes, I do.